Alright, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Back again, as always. So, what is the plan for today, motherfuckers? Nothing. There is no plan. Markets are off, closed, shut, whatever you want to call it. Actually, that's kind of crazy. I've never had it like that before. It's pretty good. Yeah, but now it's like, alright, we'll do it like this. So, what are we going to do today? Most likely back test. We might just relax. It's Saturday. I ain't got work today either. It's kind of crazy. It's 7:30 now though, so I feel it's kind of late anyways. It is nice to have the day off on a Saturday because usually I work at night on a night shift on a Saturday, so it is something that I don't have a lot. Like, I basically work every Saturday, so today's the first. But the aim is kind of for me to, with this whole journey as well, eventually I won't need to go to work because I'll just quit. Because I'll be able to have a full-time job doing what I'm currently doing, but just basically on a professional level, because that's essentially what we're doing. And as it's always been, the ideology behind it all is essentially after you get past a certain threshold, you become profitable. So say you hit a certain skill set and you have your structure and your strategy, and then after that point, if you stick to all your rules and you have the capital and all that shit, I mean, capital doesn't always matter, you get funding account, but if you stick to the rules and your strategy, then sure, you'll be fine. But yeah, it's as simple as that. So if we go over to the charts real quick, I'm going to look at gold, for instance. Now, the trading session that I will trade inside of is for anywhere from this time, 8 in the morning, typically, if I was doing this professionally, to the afternoon. But because I actually have work and stuff, I'm not able to trade these sessions. I don't actually trade anything until at least, I can be flexible with 11 o'clock, so trading at 11 in the morning. So from here, right, everything across, right up until, again, we don't really want to be trading for hours. This is the thing. You want to be making your money from trades and getting out for the day. You don't really want to be doing anything. So we can add, I think it's a horizontal, vertical, my bad, from 11 o'clock, right, and then we can do it, okay, 11, we can do up until about 1 o'clock, sure. So up until this level, 1 o'clock. That right here is my range. This is what I'm trying to make my money from. It's 2 hours, right? 2 hours of just sitting, waiting for stuff. Now, technically, straight away, I would be looking for sales from this candle, right? Price comes into the zone, which it did, comes down, mitigates, breaks down. This is an entry, right? This in itself is my entry criteria met, and the risk to reward that I'm essentially making from this would finish me for the day. But the only problem is, most likely I would have got stopped out. So we could take this as a loss, just because from what I see, this is a -1, which is basically minus 1,000 or minus 900, my bad. Okay, so we come back in and we don't get in this until up here, and I wouldn't count this, so that invalidates. But then we break this level here, so essentially now we could be looking for buys in these zones, right? But we don't get anything, and we get a break in this structure. So what are we looking for? Sales, right? What happens? Nothing, literally nothing. We get this break in liquidity, sells off of these zones, right? Most likely this. Again, price taps into this, and again, it doesn't give us an entry, but what does it do? It breaks. Now, what level created this level to be broken. Essentially is what I always ask. This swing high got broken. What caused it? Right? Technically this zone. Right? This zone here. Right? We don't get mitigation. Instead we get this break and then break up. Right? And again, we're looking for opportunities inside of what? This zone. We do get it eventually, and then you potentially could be taking a trade, but I wouldn't, because we broke this low. So now we're not even looking for buys, but essentially that's how it is. And guess what? We move up, okay? We break this. Okay, what caused that realistically? This range did cause it, but then because we broke this low here, right, it almost invalidates this because we're looking for buys over this now, right? See where I'm coming from with this. So sometimes you just can't. Like this would have been a minus, right? And we did. Also liquidate this high, right over here. So at this point, because it keeps moving up, we're basically looking for potentially some sells if we can get it, right? But not always. But when we break this low here, this is the low that kind of, in my head, would be like, yeah, we've switched for some sells, right? So at this point, what zone are we looking for? Well, technically, anything inside of this whole zone, but as we always say, we have to refine it down. So again, this would be our refinement. This zone, we don't get mitigation. And this is what I'm showing you right now, is sometimes just unlucky price action. This was on Tuesday. Sometimes you just can't take it. But this is just one pair. Like, you could be looking at a couple in those time, because realistically, you're not gonna look at this price here and go, oh yeah, I've got a setup. No, you're gonna wait for it to potentially come down to this zone for something, or you're gonna potentially wait for it to come up to there. It doesn't. Okay. So what we're looking for sales off of what zone, right? So we broke this structure above here. So what now? Looking for potentially sales inside of this mid-gauge zone. What do we get? This will move, this breakdown, and then this will move and this breakdown. Essentially, you can be taking a shot from here, right? This is valid, by the way. And where are you looking to target? Well, in this case, you're probably looking to target this. What does it give you? 1 to 15, right? What do we do? Let's say we take full profit here, or some cases looking to take it to this liquidity point, which actually would have been smart. I would have been looking at this low, but obviously it comes back up, retest and breaks. That's on this thingy, right? But realistically, we'll take partials. Half of that is 8, so 8, and then break even, so 8 plus 8, right? Okay. Will I continue for the day? Depends. It honestly depends if I get myself. Okay. What do we have here? Pretty much equal highs, not going to take, right? Still looking for sales. Like we held this, right? And then we take this liquidity from the south side. Essentially, these zones up here, right? So it's kind of hard to understand, but it's kind of not. Then we break up, right? But then we break back down, right? So sales inside of potentially this zone. But then obviously this is the swing high actually, because we broke down, so swing high, and then it's just clunky as fuck, right? I wouldn't even really be looking for much sales off of this though, but we don't get it, and plus this is the end of our session is finished. So essentially, within that time, we've made 7, right? Yes, 7. Yeah, 7. So 7. Right, my math is ass. It's actually $3,500 profit for the day. That's how much I made in 2 hours, by the way. And sometimes you can make a trade, and in 4 minutes you can make 7k or some bullshit, which is possible. But you've had to wait. You've not had your confirmation. You've not had anything to take. So out of all this time, it's only been 2 sales. But I'm not gonna try and take a setup here. I'm not gonna force something here or here or here, because it's pointless. I'm not gonna force here, because there's nothing, like, there's no zone for me to sell from. Like, for all we know, we could just be going up and up and up, right? So there's nothing to actually sell from. Like, sure, you could have sold from here, this is a high, and then mitigating came down on the fractalized, and then entered here, sure, and then rode it all the way up. Yeah, sure, you could have, but like, It just makes no sense, right? So that's that. You know, if we went over to, I mean, Pepe's been going kind of crazy recently. Pumped really hard, and it came back down even harder. So, like GA, I do like trading this one. But again, if we go over to the time zones that we trade, so it will be. Is this at 1 minute? Yeah, it is. Okay, so we'll be trading these sessions. So from 11 again. Come back to here. I know we can see what's happening, but we're only looking for our entries, right? And we're going to do what we always do, vertical line on 11 o'clock. Right, we want to trade this session all the way up to, was it 11? 11, yeah, 11 to 1, which is 2 hours. Yeah, this is our range. Okay, what do we get? Right, I mean, if we were looking before this hand and it starts to go like this, we're looking for buys, quite clearly. But from what zone, that's the question. So, again, we had this break here, and what really caused it? Personally, this zone, if I'm being honest, we don't get anything, but we get this break up, right? So, buys from in this zone, right? But guess what? We don't get a set because it liquidates this low. And then what happens? It breaks even higher, right? So buys off of potentially these zones, and then we get our setup. Then we get our confirmation. We get everything we fucking do usually, but what happens? And this is sometimes just very unlucky. But what happens? We get stopped out. Right, so we've already started and we've lost. Right. And hopefully you can kind of see how this works as well. In terms of just winning and losing. Okay, so you've lost this, you break down, right? So you could be potentially looking for sales off of this. Right, but it breaks straight through, right? What caused it? This zone, potentially buys. Nothing to take, as you can see, there's nothing to take for buys. And then it breaks through. So what zone? This zone, right? What do we get? We get a mitigation, but we don't get anything from here, right? We get these break down, okay? But here, with this candle, and then this candle, yeah. Right here would be the entry, right? And right here, or just above, would be our stop, okay? Now where would we be targeting? Realistically, we'd be targeting this firstly. It gives us 4, so we take profit. Well, we take partial, so we take 4. And then we let the rest run. Probably looking to take this as our overall expectation. So we take 4, and then we probably look to take it to this as another half. So, or maybe this one. Yeah. So 8, another 4, that's 8, and then probably this. Hold on, my map is kind of ass. 11. Okay, so we secure 11 on this trade, right, which is a lot of fucking money. Okay, then what do we get? We get this break. I mean, where's that swing high? Technically here, when we break this, was the last move technically this zone. Can't take anything there though. So what can we do? Wait for something up here potentially. This breaks here, right? Could just be a liquidation, so I wouldn't be too sure on sales yet, right? Until this moment, and then I'm like, yeah, sure. So what zones up here is my zones I'm looking for, but then what happens? It comes and takes liquidity from the low side. So again, sales, we're still looking for sales inside of what? This zone, right? And what do we get? Literally no entry. we get this up move, we get this breakdown. Okay, what does that mean? We're looking for basically we're looking for sales off of this zone now. We don't get it, but what do we get? Mitigation. It would be from here, right? Price comes up, mitigates, it gets liquidated, it comes down. We could be looking for sell. Comes up, comes down, comes up, breaks down, and then what? This is our sell. This is exactly how we trade, and this is what we were waiting for. We couldn't take. It was literally impossible for to take these because we didn't. Yeah, our rules weren't met. Now our rules are met, and we're probably looking to take profits here, right? Which is 3.5, which is half, and then take this low, right? 7, 3.5, 7. Again, plus 7. Now, yes, we did move over to the different session, but we did end a session by hitting profit anyways, you know what I mean? And usually at those points we potentially could be a little bit more flexible, but we literally ended the session just 1 minute before the session end, full TP, right? Taking this, even this one here if you're wondering to mark it, which it was actually marked, my bad. Bang. So if we look at the overall profit, right, 17 is our profit. So again, if we go back to calculator, right, our overall profit for today is 8.5k, right? I've only taken 3 trades, and this is why I say to everybody, just relax. So on this one, we made so in total we made 12k, right? If we traded those 2 pairs the same day, and obviously you can trade GA and gold differently, right? Because they obviously don't move the same. So you basically made 12k in a day, right? And then you could go to the next day, right? So we go to here, right? And this is a Thursday now. So what we're looking for, is this a Thursday still? This is a Thursday, so we're looking for a Friday. But Friday's not always great. But again, we do trade the Friday. So again, we come over to our session time, 11 in the morning. So we highlight that 11. Okay, right there. And then we move it to 1 o'clock, which is when we finish the session. Okay. And what do we get? Again, there's not much. There's not really that much you could take, but there is trades you can take still. So what do we have? We have this swing high get broken from what? This zone. Okay. Do we have anything we can take? No, we don't. We have this break, but again, one of my rules is I don't like these wicks so long. I wouldn't take an entry off of this. Sure, it confirms and it breaks above, but I ain't doing it because the wick's too long. Like, no. So what do we get? This, and then this, right? This again. It always comes to the start of the session for some reason, but does it mitigate our zone? That's the question. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. So it doesn't even validate our bias, our opinion. So again, we wait. It breaks higher, potentially off of this zone. Right, so we get one here, but we don't get anything else. Do we get mitigation inside of it? Well, kinda. We could take that, and we'd probably take profits at that point. So I think we would have won this trade, to be honest. If, yeah. But this would have been just shit. This would have been probably profit for the day, everything done for the day. But in terms of where I'd be targeting, if I was entering here, I'll be targeting this high. That's it. Yeah, that's it. 1 to 6, so I'd add 6 here. right? That would be me done. I'd been out, regardless of what happened next, right? Because our entry was met barely, but it was, right? And now we have this shit. We're looking for basically this zone to hold, right? I'm looking for highs to get taken. But again, this price action is kind of shit. So what do? We see the breaking structure here. So we're looking for this zone of sales, but then what happens? We take liquidity on this side. Okay, sales inside of this comes in, and it basically liquidates, so we can't really sell from this. Probably indicates more or less potential buys. And volatility is just not worth it. And again, we take this high here on the left, barely, but we do. Okay, now what actually caused that? Me personally, I believe this zone, this demand zone here. Right, and what do we get? This here, and then this, and then we get the entry. Right here. Now, I do believe that this actually takes a loss, but then we also have this, like, we don't put our stop loss on this, we put it on this, but then yeah, it usually gets stopped out, so that would be a loss, right? And that'd be very fucking unlucky. Let's just say that, because we could have made a 1 to 26, but instead we get a -1. Right? It was just tiny. So perhaps in future, instead of having it like this, we have it like this. Or just, I mean, actually, to be fair, I believe it would have been maybe here, or a little bit more, just because of spread. So actually, I believe that this would have been a successful trade. But I'm just going to put it as a -1. Even though I think it would have been a good trade. But yeah, so that happened, and then again we got this break. Really caused it this zone. We didn't get any mitigation, and there's nothing to take to get up. And there's nothing to sell from either. We break this, right? So we could be looking for sales off of this zone. This is the last sort of zone that we're looking for sales, right? After we took this liquidity, we get to move up, break down, and then we get this move up, and then we get the liquidation, and then we get the mitigation and the confirmation, and then this would have been our entry. Oh shit! And this would have been done for the day, for the week, for the year, whatever. We would have been done for whatever you want to call it, right? This is what you want to get in on, but realistically, I would have only been targeting this, right? But again, this ran very nicely. In fact, on a high time frame, I would have been actually targeting this. From entry here, I would have probably taken partials at this low, which gives me 5.5, and then full profit 3. Let's just say 8. I think it's probably more, but let's just say 8 in total. Even though obviously this says 15, but yeah, it'd be about 8. And then we're kind of heading towards the end of our session now. So again, we take this liquidity, sales off of this. We don't get a confirmation because it liquidates this one here. It comes down, right? It breaks this, so maybe buys off of this. We get nothing, nothing. We do break this high here actually. Nothing. We break this high. Caused it. Technically this zone, but again we get nothing. So, and yeah, potentially we could have entered. Actually, we could have potentially entered here. I just saw this right towards the end of our session. So this is our demand zone. We broke this high here. Right, what caused it? This level. Right. So buys, we get this down, we get this remitigation, and then we get this rally up. So we could have entered that. I would have probably entered it at that point, and then took more money just to let the session run over. It doesn't really matter. But yeah. And in total, obviously for this session, 13. So again, a nice amount of money. But yeah, that's pretty much back testing. Made simple, I think. Hopefully. These cloaks are almost 0.1 ETH. I'll push them to 1 ETH. 1 ETH, that would be fucking stupid. Why am I getting... Was that from someone at work? I'm confused. Oh, I wasn't, okay. I was about to say, like, I thought I got a message from fucking one of my colleagues. I was like, nah, bro, I ain't covering no shifts. I'm doing my shit. Fuck you. But yeah, Nakamura's close to him quite. Great. They've got a decent amount of volume. But I was question how long are they going to stay up like this. I feel like they can come down quite easily. But yeah, anyways, that's me done for the video, and I'll see you motherfuckers tomorrow. So yeah, see ya.